Brothers old school, and then we moved down to the new one. And I still remember some of the Christian Brothers names. Can you imagine that? Brother Madigan was one. I can still picture his face. And there was another brother called Brother Ahern, and he was a tough cookie.
Yeah. All around the tough cookies.
Yeah, but I still remember that, you know, in Greystones, because Greystones was a nice little town back in the day.
The boys went to one school and the girls, like Peggy and I went to Ravenswood Convent, which was right next to us.
Right. And in between the convent and where we were staying at what was it? There was a field there with it had like vegetables in it.
Yeah.
Remember?
Well, if you remember, out in the backyard, which we had a very big backyard, I used to climb up on the left side of the wall. There was a big wall, and the wall, when you got to the top, if you looked over, there was apple tree orchards.
Yeah.
When you were from Ravenswood Convent, before you walked up the lane, I remember leaning over. I mean, I might have been 4 or 5 before I started school, and I remember the guy throwing me apples.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was like he said he saw me. I know maybe I was 4 or 5, but you know, Mom didn't track us to. You know, if you went out in the backyard, that was the end of it. There was a gate. Nobody could get in or out.
Yeah.
But going to Ravenswood Convent, it was all girls.
Yes.
And it was right next door to the house. You know, it wasn't that far to get up. But it was, that's how they handled it. The boys went to one school and the girls went to another.
Absolutely, I remember. Of course, I remember all of that. You know, absolutely, yeah. And across the street there was a candy store.
Yeah, I remember looking across the street and making sure Mommy wasn't looking at it across the street, because that was the Bray Road. It was very busy.
Yeah, it was very busy. Is that right?
And then remember, Jordan's was down further on the same side that the house was.
Right.
I used to go down to Jordan's with a tuppence or a penny, and I get a piece of candy.
Yeah.
And you go down further, and you come to where the movie theater was.
Okay. The movie.
And there was a movie theater there. I remember going with Peggy, but it was a religious movie about, I forget what it was. But when you went down on that road, they had the amusements.
Yeah.
And Mommy, I told you the story. I went down, I took Mommy over one year when I was with Irish Airlines, and we walked through, everything was the same. We went down past Tansy's and all the big stores, and we went to the area where Mommy used to go play bongo, but it was like a bingo.
Yeah.
And her and I walked in, and it was almost seats were like in a ball game. They all went down, and her and I came in at the top, and the guy who was calling out the numbers, he said, B12, and he looked up and he said, hello, Mrs. Valley, come right down here.
Yeah, I remember.
I couldn't believe it. He knew Mommy.
I know. I remember you.
We used to go to play bongo, which is bingo.
Bingo bongo. Yeah, I remember you telling me that, and the name of the theater was the Royal Theater. It was on the corner.
It was a movie theater.
Yeah.
That's right.
The Royal Theater.
I was in shock when this man, he was still the same guy and Mommy and I went down and sat in the front like it was yesterday.
I know. It's crazy, isn't it? How the memories come back. Yeah.
It was, you know, I think you and I and Peggy will always hold those moments, and Bray was a lovely place to go
Oh yeah, absolutely. Bray was a wonderful place to grow up. People have no idea. Back in those days, most of the people that lived in Bray years and years ago, at the turn of the 19th century, were basically very rich Anglo-Saxon people from England, or their ancestors were from England. And that's why you've seen so many nice houses.
When I would go up to the front door and you'd open the door to go into the sitting room where Mommy would serve the meals, and I saw I don't know who they were, but they were three boarders, and they'd be sitting around the wireless listening to the football games.
Yeah, or the boxing matches. Dad used to listen to the boxing matches.
And they had their ears leaned over to hear what was coming out of the wireless.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I had no idea what it was, but and there was only the one radio.
Yeah, and usually there was.
Sitting room.
Yeah, and there was only two stations: the BBC and Radio Erin. That was it.
But do you remember up at the big sitting room with the big table at the holidays, the banquet that Mommy would put on with the tree by the fireplace?
Oh yeah. Upstairs, yeah.
We'd have like, I don't know, 10 or 12 people around the table, and Mommy had the fireboard with the big tree all lit up.
Oh yeah, I'm not. I think I remember some of that. Yeah, this was around Christmas time.
Do you remember
Yeah.
the couch that Mommy and Daddy purchased, and all you had to do was press the button and the couch came out?
No.
It was remote.
Yeah.
We have a picture of all five of us sitting on that couch in the big sitting room.
I have that picture here.
Well, that couch, when Mommy pressed the button, the couch would come out remotely.
Well, I didn't know that.
Well, I did, because I never saw anything like it.
That's great.
And that must have been around, I don't know, just before we came to America.
Yeah.
She had the auctioneers come in to auction everything off.
Wow, I don't remember that. Yeah.
Everything was very strange for me. I mean, I was only 6 years old or 7, but
He goes
I
in.
remember those things because they were like, really? I thought it was just another planet.
Well, you know what? That goes to show you how intelligent and how smart Mom was. She had everything figured out.
She really was on the ball. Came to America with Uncle John, and all the Irish community was there to support us.
Yeah, and I have a picture of you in Werner Skura outside.
Warner.
Yeah.
I know. I had the one with a sports car.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. But whatever happened to Warner?
You know what? I don't know. I think I talked to him one time. I talked to him one.
From Germany.
Yeah, he was from Germany, right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I used to go over to his house. Every now and then he'd invite me because he was a very close friend of mine.